Today we're checking out the Artist Tweed Tone 5-watt full valve guitar amplifier. It's loaded with an 8-inch Celestion speaker. Let's see how it sounds. Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. You're listening to the Artist Tweed Tone V, which stands for 5 Roman numerals. Let's take a look. Here's the amplifier up close. Now, there's no denying that this is very similar to another Tweed amplifier that you might know. It looks like an absolute champion. I'll just leave it at that. But the cool thing about this amplifier is it's very small. If I was to take a pedal box, for example, and put it on top, it's about just over 2 pedals wide. So it gives you a sense of just how small this amplifier is, but don't let that fool you. It's loaded with a Celestion G8C15 speaker in the back, which sounds great. It gives it that really tweed vibe, and rated at 5 watts RMS, it sounds really cool. Now, I should also point out this has a 12AX7 in the preamp, and it has a 6V6 in the power section. So it's got that Fender-esque style setup. Now on the front we have a volume control. This will go dead clean up to about here, and then anywhere past there it will start to break up. Now we also get a 2-way toggle switch over here, boost and normal. If we have it on boost, it's better suited to, say, low output single coil pickups. If we're playing humbuckers and we want a little bit less dirt, we can flip to the normal mode. Kind of reduces the input gain stage of the amplifier. We also have a presence control here, so the further up it is, the more sort of shimmer on the top end you're going to get, and vice versa. One of the cool things about this amplifier is they've left an open port at the back. Means you can put the cable in there when you're not using it, but it also allows for a little bit of better bass response, in my opinion. I much prefer having somewhat of an open back on these sort of Fender-ish style amplifiers, no questions about it. Visually, I think this thing looks great. It doesn't have any reverb, it doesn't have any other effects. You simply turn it up to get more. Pretty cool. Firstly, a massive thank you to Artist Guitars for sending this out for the review. I really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about them, links to Artist Guitars will be in the description below. Now, this amplifier is dead dry, so we're going to try it not only clean, dirty with a couple of different guitars, and then also with a few pedals towards the end. See how it handles any type of situation. But just know, if you're looking for a great little home practice amplifier that's a full valve amp, this will definitely be a great choice because it's not overly loud. Let's get into it. Let's kick it off with some single coil tones. Thanks to my Fender 50s original Telecaster, I have the amplifier set with the boost switch on, the presence control at 12 o'clock, and the volume up almost at 3 o'clock, which is at the point of clipping. Now, the boost switch is great for low output pickups, much like a Strat or a Telecaster. When we try it with the humbuckers back here in a moment, I'll switch it over to the normal mode and we'll hear that as well. Now, this is at the point where the amplifier's just got a bit of hair on it, which is the sweet spot. This is both pickups. Here we go. Definitely got that tweed vibe, especially on the low end. It's quite a thick sound for such a small amp. I dig it. Let's turn up the volume control a little bit more and we'll see what we can get out of it now. Yeah. And now, all the way up, bridge. So if you're a blues player, you get a total kick out of that type of tone. The cool thing about this is if you turn your volume control down even just a little bit, it starts to clean up. So here we go. Turn down a little bit more. And all the way back up. Yeah, all right. One of the great things about this amplifier is it's well suited to someone who just wants to play at home and not annoy anyone else in the house. If you're playing on a clean tone like this, set everything to 12 o'clock. It's going to be at about a regular speaking voice or lower. It's actually probably quieter than my voice. I'm a loud bugger. Here we go, it's both pickups. So that's dead clean. There's no hint of breakup, at least not to my ear at all. But the volume's dropped quite a lot from before. So if you want that low volume clean tone, you can absolutely get it. Over to my Tokai Love Rock electric guitar. This is made in Japan. It's loaded with two PAF style humbucker pickups. Now I've switched it over to the normal mode. We have the presence control up, so it's allowing more top end to come through. And I have the volume still set dead clean. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're using humbuckers and you want a really clean tone, use the normal mode on the amplifier. It will drop the input of the amplifier. So here we go. So that's dead clean to my ear. I think that sounds pretty cool. And now with the presence all the way up and the volume up at about 3 o'clock, this will make the amp dirtier. Not all the way there yet, but it'll still be a little bit more dirty than before and allowing a little bit more of the top end to come through. This is neck pickup. And over to bridge. Kind of like it on bridge pickup a little bit better. And now, with everything cranked. So you can get this to clean up one or two ways if you've got it dimed. You can just pick soft with your volume all the way up. Or you can turn down and still pick hard. Now that sounded exactly the same. That's one of the cool things about this, but if I turn the volume back up, you're getting that just beautifully overdriven tone and that very classic tweed sound. That's pretty cool. And I also just wanted to show you the difference with the boost on. So let's just play a second now. actually sounds brighter and dirtier than on the normal mode. Here we go. Now, if you've got a really dark sounding humbucker pickup guitar, for example, you can absolutely just use the boost mode, but you are going to get a little bit more sort of distortion coming through the amp, especially once it's cranked. But there's no right or wrong. The trade-off is you get a little bit of extra brightness as well, which is pretty nice. Let's see how we go now, running some pedals into the front end of the amplifier. I've got the volume of the amplifier set to about 2 o'clock, so it's back clean, the presence all the way up, and the boost control on. Now, this is a bit of a hybrid guitar. We get 2 single coils and also a humbucker in the bridge. So where do you set the amp? I'm going to leave it on the boost side because it's going to oversaturate when I get onto that bridge pickup, which should hopefully sound pretty cool. So this is the clean tone where I'm starting. With a little bit of delay. Tell you what, it feels good just having a little bit of something. I'm a huge fan of reverb. This doesn't have reverb, so adding a little bit of slapback or a bit of delay feels good to play. And now with the left side of the Royal Flush, and then I'll kick on the right side. So here we go, it's gonna sound completely different. Sounds like it's going to explode. That's one of the cool qualities of the Tweed amp. It's got a very unique sort of pushed over the edge sound. It just sounds like nothing else. So I think they've pretty much nailed that tone. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Shane. So what do I think of this little amplifier overall? It's a whole lot of fun and it's way quieter than what it may appear on the recording. So if you are looking for that home practice amplifier that's not going to wake everybody up, you can absolutely run this at a low volume clean and still get a really great sound. So if that's important to you, you'll definitely get a kick out of it. This is nowhere near loud enough to gig with, not a chance. This is a home practice amplifier. The 8-inch speaker has a lot of oomph to it. I'm really shocked just how much kick this amplifier has in that low end. It feels really great to play, but it's dead dry. I kind of wish, I know what it's based on, obviously it's based on another famous small amplifier. But just if it had a reverb circuit, man, I would be loving it. But add a little bit of slapback delay or add a reverb pedal, you're gonna get a whole lot more niceness out of this amplifier. But a lot of people won't want to do that. They just love that tweed tone that breaks up when you crank it, and that's what this amp does, and it does really well. So if that's what you're into, you'll definitely get a kick out of it for blues, classic rock, Rolling Stones, all that kind of stuff. This should be able to get most of those tones, especially once you start to wind it up. A massive thank you to Artist Guitars for sending this out for the review. I really appreciate it. They are letting me keep the amplifier, but they haven't paid me for the review or any of my comments or anything like that. So yeah, it's a super cool little amp, and I love the fact that you can get away with it at low volumes dead clean. I think that's pretty cool. So like I mentioned, if practicing at home with a valve amp is important to you, you definitely get a kick out of this. I'm pretty sure you will. It's got that big, full kind of sound. Now, hopefully the recording does it justice, but from what I'm hearing in the room, it sounds pretty cool. So thanks again for watching. Catch you soon. See ya.